But to think that up until the present time that we've had so much opposition, you see, there were two thought one way and then there'd be one thought different. But to think that a thing like this could happen, everybody could come together so quick.
To think that a thing like that could happen and catch them off the guard, that's what I think about it. They ought to have known what Japan did for Russia in 1904. They'd already attacked them and did all the damage they could before they declared war. They might have known to do the same thing again. You don't have to, if a dog bites you once, you don't trust him next time, surely.
Well, there's just one thing that I wish had happened. And I think under the circumstances, since this is a record-breaking affair, that they should have taken old Kurisu and his partner over here holding up the works like they have. In fact, they've stalled the Congress and the President and just going along pleading for time, and say in the meantime bound to have known just what was going on. I think they should have taken them jokers out there this morning or yesterday, immediately after he handed over this note to her, and tied him behind an automobile and started up and down Pennsylvania Avenue at about, we'd say, 5 or 6, 7 miles an hour.
It'd been all right if our ambassador had gotten home, all our people had gotten out of Japan at that time, but you kind of hate they'd put a worse penalty on Americans who were there. That's the only question.
But it never has. The American people have never done a thing like that.
I know, but they'd have the same chance that our ambassador there, you see. He's still there. He hasn't gotten out either, you see.
But you take a fella that's dirty enough to stand here and do a thing like that, and you don't tell what you do over there.
No.
Just give him a halfway chance. That's what you got to put up with.
Well, it's an all-time record. Now, the thing that's going to do me most good is when I know that the British, Russian, and American long-range bombers, Russia's got enough of them over there to Siberia and around to work on too.
Yeah, if Russia comes in there, and I suppose they will, as long as
they're bound to now. You see,
American lease-land aid there. Why?
You see, they're bound to now because look what Hitler's doing. He's pulling his forces back. He says he's up against it until spring. You see.
He might be.
And they're backing all the time. The radio says so today. They're backing, and Russia is pushing them right on.
That's another strategic move he's got in mind. He's going to try to land and invade Britain or England, or else he's going down into Africa, put his troops in there and leave enough men there to defend what they've already taken from Russia if they can, and then go down into
Well,
Africa.
they can't defend it to take much out. But we're going to have to fight Hitler, you see, right on.
Well, they might have stronger defenses back the way if they move back far, keep retreating back slowly and give Hitler a chance to pull his troops out and go into Africa or else invade Britain or England.
Well, I just don't think they can. I don't think they can whoop the whole John Brown bunch. That's the way I feel about it.
Well, I don't think that Japan will last a long time. I don't think they had any chance of winning against the United States.
They haven't got a chance, and I don't think that with all of the dirty little tricks that the Japanese, the present government, that's the reason that they changed cabinet so much. The ones that they had wouldn't stand the pushing that. That's the reason they laid down fell out. Well, this fellow they got over there now, they think we're a mouthpiece for Hitler. That's where all that trouble's coming from.
You ain't ought to fight Japan like you'd fight anybody else. If I'm going to fight a gentleman, I give him a gentleman's break. But when I know I've got to fight a bastard like one of those those Japs, I start laying for him just as soon as I know I've got to fight him. I start watching him every minute, and that's what they ought to have done in this case.
Yeah, I think you kind of let it slip up on him just a little bit.
Well, one of those congressmen asked the question yesterday. He says, where was our patrol forces over in Honolulu and these places? It seems to me that they must have been caught off guard. They let them get too far in. Of course, they're making that night trip, you see, coming in by.
Well, I don't know what's going on down there. Of course, there might be planes flying around down there more or less all the time. They probably, until the bombing started, they probably didn't know what was happening until they were on top of them, and then they probably dropped a few in the vital spots and kind of gummed up the works before they just things were kind of in a frenzy probably.
Kind of upset, they just didn't know what steps to take right for a few hours.
Just wasn't all set right there, ready to tear out. Yeah, there should have been though. There should have been when for the last several weeks. They knew that they should have known that Japan was going to swallow that pill to help it because they had to give up everything that you'd hoped to gain.
Well, that's so too, but they've been flying relays, you see. Unloading and going back and reloading and coming again, you see.
And before they could hardly find out where it's coming from, though, you see. Well, if you get in the first blow on a man, you know, it's a surprise, but he's upset pretty well.
Yeah, it'll last a little while, but it won't
yeah.
last very long. It's kind of like smacking the fellow whenever you're right at him, you know, directly. You can think that thing over.
America doesn't have to lick them before breakfast. They can take as long as they want about it.
One thing we can do, we can lick them if it takes 10 years, because we can build more in 30 days than they can build in 12 months before that part goes.
I'll be glad when I hear them getting over China with one of those big bombers.
The thing I want to know, thing's going to do me most good is is to know that when Tokyo is set afire, it's like a brush pile all over, and that's what's going to happen. It's bad for the average, the Jap, in other words, the class of folks who don't care about fighting. They're forced to it by the army, of course. Good gracious life. It won't be like Germany bombing England. When they get this thing started right, there's going to be a fire like nobody's ever heard tell of. And I don't care if they burn them, and they've always been classed as a brown or yellow class of folks. But when they get through scorching for this, boy, they'll all be brown. That's what I want. And show you how that the folks have reacted to it. The doggone recruiting stations can't be waited on today.
Well, I think that 90% of the men in America would pick up a gun and go after them today if they ever asked you.
Why, sure, I reckon it would.
Old man, and then I saw a fellow downtown this morning. He's older man than I am. And he said that he'd go tomorrow, be glad to go. So I can stand in the thing and put on me over there as long as I'm looking for those guys. Take anything that comes up. Sleep in the trenches, walk in the rain. Anything that's necessary to do, he says, just to kill a half a dozen.
Well, that's what's going to happen. Don't spare them anything. There's no need of talking about mercy. That's a thing of the past. Now, if you're stuck in the back, and we've been stabbed in the back, they couldn't kill us, just stabbed us. Now's the time.
What do they do is, notice that the paper tonight is having this welders union is talking about striking.
Mm-hmm.
Well, can it's there's a strike now, it'd be treason, wouldn't it?
Yeah, they can't strike. They won't let them strike. The striking business is over in this country now.
Well, man, is poor American.
I'll tell you what I believe we'll do. I believe that our production will build up in 60 days' time to take the production over and above today will take care of what our losses will be in Japan, and the present setup will go ahead and take care of things like it is. I believe that the American people will see to it.
Well, they ought to take whatever they need to win that war and win in a hurry. Whether they use them here or use them there, anybody, put them where they need them, in a gun factory, a munition factory, or anywhere else. Any man of any age. Let everything else go and beat hell out of Japan first, and then come back and tend to work at home after.
Yeah, well, the only thing is about it, after we get through Japan, then we just have to help England and Russia clean those damn Germans out. So they all over it.
Well, they might well declare war on a whole bunch at one time.
Well, the Tokyo government is just a mouthpiece for Hitler anyway, and so after all, when you fight one, you're fighting the whole damn world.
Yeah.
And I don't believe it'll be 48 hours till there'll be a declaration of war against Germany and Italy.
Well, I believe they'll declare war on us in less than that time.
Well, it's predicted, the night's report, according to them, it's predicted that it'll come in 24 to 36 hours.
But Hitler has never declared war on anybody yet. That isn't his policy. I don't know what there's no difference in it. He just goes into the nation and for some reason or other says he's got to have that country, or he never has declared war on Russia or any of the country he's taken over there. He just marched in and took them by surprise.
Well,
Japan's not to care.
He's just so damn dirty, though, that
Well, they don't need nobody to tell me that Hitler can take the remnants that's left in Italy, which ain't nothing. That would make us a breakfast spell. In Japan, that's all he's got. To whip the rest of the world, that's out of the question.
But what America should do is to use the stuff that's raised in America instead of buying from Japan in the first place.
well, why in the hell is it that you want to keep on helping a country that's trying to take advantage of another one anyway? I can't understand that.
A good lisle hose like he used to wear, a woman's leg, just put it in there to doing his silk, I thought. If you put furnish silk, why, what's the difference? If everybody wears them, they're all right for everybody.
If you've got to get something from Japan to put on a woman's leg and make it look good to me, brother, I'll take mine bare-legged, socks, cotton, anything that comes from over here.
Use what they raise in America and leave Japan out of it.
Deal me out on
That's
anything.
the only reason Japan has been as linear as it has, because the United States was a breadbasket, that's all. They were furnishing something for them to eat.
Furnishing something to eat. Trade with it.
The silk mills in the United States, the only thing kept Japan on the map, and you said a while ago, it's the only thing that put it in shape to wage war.
That's right. And we traded with them and furnished them enough iron and scrap from this country to keep them going.
And if President Roosevelt had it, whereby it had been shut off a long time ago.
Yeah, that's exactly what's the matter.
But there's a few of these pacifists who we have around, that, like Wheel and some of them, that want to keep carrying them along. This isolationist crowd remind me a whole lot of some fellow that's pulled some theft job, you know, when you went to look for the man who done the stealing, the fellow who did the stealing, he was right in there trying to help you find him, you know, see? So now Wheeler and this crowd, what have they done? They've run right in there to be the first ones to, yes sir, we're for it, let's whoop them. Let's whoop them. They're the first ones to say it. And lo and behold, they're the ones all the time that held up the works. But listen to Roosevelt. For 6, 7 years ago, 10 years ago, he tried his best to get something started. And if they'd listened to him, we'd have been so. Well, he could see this coming before a lot of us could.
Well, he's just that foresight, just like Woodrow Wilson had in the other war. It's the forethought, foresight. And if they'd listened to Roosevelt, we'd have been in the shape today that Japan would have been. They'd have been over there begging each other up, afraid that the American people was going to get them. That's what they'd have been doing.
Well, you got just a few of these damn Republicans around here, though, that you can't, that you just got to knock in the head before they got sense enough to see a thing like that.
Well, it wasn't only Republicans, it was just some of these people like Wheeler. I never could see his view at all.
He never had any.
Anyone could have seen that we had to fight Japan sometime or other, else could have given their own way, and what would be the difference?
Well, here's the thing about what would happen.
To let them do what they please, that wreck America, there'd be nothing else of it.
They'd left them alone. What would they have done? When they got Asia under their control, well, then they would come up and they said, well, now we'll take the Philippine Islands, and, we'll take Honolulu. We'll take them one at a time. Well, they're not going to do nothing about it. We'd let them come on. The first thing you know, they'd have been down here. They'd had it. Would have been dashed to send a fishing boat out in one of our bays down here. You can go fishing here.
President, I don't see how President Roosevelt ever got the preparations that he has today. Ever got them started even. with a bunch of head against him.
It's
Everybody, there's so many fought everything he tried to do.
it just shows that he's just one of the, he's just a man in history. He's never been able to do it. We talk just such fellows as Wheeler and
I
such
don't think
fellows.
we've ever had a man, a president who was as smart as President Roosevelt is. And certainly never a man in history that ever was a friend of the labor that President Roosevelt is.
And they can talk about the labor unions as they want to. They don't need one because the government under the president set up to look out for labor.
He did everything possible for labor since he'd been in. The only man of means, a man that never had hardships that other people did, but he saw other people's hardships and did everything in the world he could for a laboring man, and then a lot of them turned him down.
And just
Started with these pacifists.
just such fellows as Bob Reynolds. What's Bob Reynolds done? He's gone around. He got in Washington. He never would have been elected if it hadn't have been for he went around and he made out like that. Yes, sir. I said I'm going to run every alien out of this country. The foreigners all have to go home when I get through. And the people fell for the island like, what did you get? Well, I think that in the first place, our whole effort should be centered on the fact that we've got to win this war, regardless of what it takes. If we eat 2 meals a day, we do the same work. Or if we eat 1 meal, we do the same work. And I see no reason why that we shouldn't have 3 meals and then whoop Japan.
Plenty to eat here.
There's plenty here, and there's nothing in Japan we need. They pin up all the Japanese in this country so they can't do us any dirt. If it's not just through the duration of the war, but all of them we get, we just pin them up and keep them. Keep them ever giving anybody else any trouble.
Such fellows as these envoys they had over here that pulls a slick trick like that, I don't think he ought to even be allowed to get back to his country.
Well, one thing sure, they can't put independence in what Japan says anymore.
That's right.
They'll offer a peace term, why the only peace term they need is a shotgun sticking right in the face and both barrels cocked and then pull both triggers. That's the only thing. You can't take a man's word for anything. When a man is trying to negotiate a peace and pretending to be negotiating a peace and then attacking 4 or 5 possessions of the United States at the same time before this was ever presented.
Well, what'll happen, in my opinion, is when the thing gets tight enough, they see that they're going down, then peace is what they'll want. But the peace that this country will have to offer them, in my opinion, is when the last one's killed, that every man that has ever held an office or had anything to do with promoting this thing, to see that he's put under the clods.
Yeah, I think the whole damn bunch of rulers ought to be, before it's quit, because it's eliminated, got rid of it.
Every cabinet member that they've had that favored war. Now, if the fellows in the past that quit the jobs because they didn't want to go to war, we can kind of feel for them. But surely this setup that they've got now, we just take them one by one and see that they never give anybody else any trouble.
Well, they should put them every one out of China and back, if there's any of them left, put them on the island where they belong and leave them there and never let them come over here again, any of them. Or those that are in Indochina, like this French Indochina, there's just a puppet of Hitler. Because the Vichy doesn't have a word to say. What they say is they're just a mouthpiece of Hitler. Everything is said from there. They're only just a slave for Hitler, that's all.
Well, all the Chinese people are over there, though. They never have given any trouble. Why should you want to go over there? It's just greed, that's all it is.
This is free French, help them clean out French Indochina and turn it back over to the free French and then run Hitler out of France and run Japan out of China and all the possessions that they're holding now, including French Indochina, and drive them back on the island, what few don't kill, and I don't think they'll ever venture off again anyhow, when you get through with them.
Well, I tell you, I don't think there's ever been so much of this anyway, if it hadn't been for a few of those damn Germans that got over there and got mixed all up in that Japanese government anyway.
Well, that was Japan's chance. She thought Hitler had a good chance to win this war. She knew darn well she couldn't whip America, and she thought Hitler was going to whip everything over in Europe in a few months and be over here to help her. She got herself penned up and she couldn't get out. The only way she'd get out was by fighting her way out, and she's going to know in a few months that she made the saddest mistake of all when she attacked the United States.
Well, I don't think that the war of the United States is going to be what will happen to Japan and Hitler. It's just a question of the people, and I'm satisfied that every man and woman in the country will stand behind it, make any sacrifices necessary.
Well, they have quite a navy, I guess.
And stick to it till the last one is out.
But we can wait. It's like a fellow waiting for a tiger in a blind. We just keep on manufacturing stuff until we kill the last one. It's necessary.
Don't have to kill them all 6 months a year.
There's no time limit. There's no bag limit. You kill as many as you want.
That's one damn good thing about it.
There's one thing about this, there's no limit to the hunting season.
No, you kill as many as you want, anyway. When they said the other day that it was about 3 or 4 minutes while this Kurusu was delivering his emperor's message, when he was declaring war, I said 2 minutes of that would have been enough for me. I'd have killed that son of a gun while they was there.
Well, I just don't feel right about it. I think that, I know that our representatives in the far east would have suffered likewise, but we just well lose a man there that way as lose one under the gun.
No, there's the question is we want to protect what we got over in Japan, and we'll get these anyhow when we finally go over there and clean the island up.